The analogy I like to give to someone who's never heard of it is it's a weird jumble between chess and poker. Chess in that each of the different cards are going to interact uniquely and have their own equally important effects. And then poker in that each hand is unique as you're shuffling and you're never going to have the exact same game of Magic twice. And that's essentially Magic the Gathering.
There's a couple different ways to play Magic, and the most popular one is called Commander.
So Commander is one of the most popular casual formats of the game. It features 100 cards where every card is only one of a piece.
It started with a bunch of dudes playing kitchen table Magic with cards that, I guess backing up, so like the different ways to play it, the most traditional way is Standard, where only certain sets are able to be played in these events at a time, then they rotate out. Well, those guys who invented Commander had all these cards sitting around that they can't play, and they're like, I love those cards, let me play with them anyway.
I want to say there's over 25 to 30,000 unique cards over the game's 26-year history, so there's infinite combinations for a Magic deck.
Magic, top tier, you play it by the rules conventionally. Socializing and just playing with your friends. Lots of different rules. We have a guy that plays with a deck that the cards aren't even legal. He plays with like a My Little Pony card just for shits and giggles.
A crazy story, when I was like 14 or 15, I was looking for a hobby and I tried everything. I tried model cars, I tried all kinds of video games, but nothing really fulfilled me. And then I taught myself how to play Magic, taught my little brothers how to play Magic, and fell in love from there.
Once I got into college, that's when I got really serious. Like I played in middle school, like with my buddy on the school bus or something, but college, I met a bunch of guys that like we would just hang out. Back then I was like, I smoked cigarettes and we were only allowed to smoke in a certain area. And so while that was like became the ritual, we would smoke and we would play our Magic.
I started, I want to say, sophomore year. My buddy kind of like played it, and then there was a group of people at school that played it. And so he was like, yo, come with me. We're just gonna go, play a couple games, see if we can have some fun. We got in, it was awesome.
So I had always like collected like Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards as a kid, but I kind of stopped around everybody else. But when I got to community college, one of my buddies invited me out to a pre-release for Magic. It was very nostalgic to like have cardboard in my hands again. So I was like, yeah, let me come out, let me play. And it just went up from there. Like it was super fun. Like the game's called Magic the Gathering, but it's like really that gathering is like the part that got me.
I love that the game's always changing, and I also love the community. I've met a lot of my best friends playing this game. That's the cool thing about the game that I really enjoy too, is that there's no specific demographic for the people that play this game. I've met literally all kinds of people playing, and that's really beautiful to me.
It's not like an exclusive thing. Like you don't have to be a basement breather. Like you'll find like putting in like high school like clique groups, like the jocks will be playing it now. Nerdy content is starting to become more mainstream. So it's super cool.
There's the meme guys, the big guys, and all they do is go play Magic, and then there's like me and Josh. Me and Josh will go out and we'll go on like a double date and we'll eat sushi and we'll talk about stuff that's not even related to Magic. Me and Alan will go to the skate park and we'll skate. Me and Chris hit a workout the other week. And so it's different people that you wouldn't expect. Like me, I don't look like a nerd dude. Like I was on varsity basketball, tennis, football, track. I like to be active and I love sports. But the mind is going real fast. I like the pace of Magic to be able to do all that stuff.
I like talking. As you can tell, I can talk all day, no problems with that. And so it allows me to do that without having to like choose a specific topic.
There's no real like awkward small talk because you already have that icebreaker that it's like, oh, well, we're sit and play a game. What's your favorite deck to play? What's your style? What's that kind of thing? And you can tell a lot about a person by the deck they build. So it sort of like skips that awkward introduction stage, and it's just like, hey, I'm so-and-so, this is my deck,
If the person who's teaching you knows how to teach and won't just throw everything at you, you'll get the basics down in about half an hour, I'd say. It's actually scientifically proven to be the most complicated game ever made, which I know is scary at first, but it's one of those things, it's kind of like just about any other competitive game where the basics are really easy to pick up, and then the skill gap goes whenever you want to start learning more advanced tactics and stuff like that.
You can find, if you're into, this type of thing, you can find whatever niche that you like about this kind of thing. And you can do it usually for not that much money.
There's a lot of people saying, I don't have the money, but at the end of the day, you can show up to most shops. Like, I've got 6 decks. If you want to play, you can just borrow some of my cards. You don't need to have your own. You can go to any shop, guarantee you'll have a person that'll be willing to let you play with one of their cards.
It's not a pay-to-play kind of game, and a lot of people view it that way, especially when they see like people who show off on like Instagram, like, oh, I have this card, and oh, well, that's a $200 card, or like I have decks that, don't tell my wife, are worth like $2,000, of just cardboard, and people see that and like, oh, well, I'm not going to spend $2,000 on cardboard. But you don't start there. You start with a $10 deck, a $20 deck, and build up. And so you can just grab a deck like that and show up. And then as you get to know other players and stuff, they're like, oh, well, you should try this out. And especially this community in New Braunfels, I've noticed a lot more are more accepting of new players. And be like, oh, well, here's some cards. Like, here's some old cards that I have that I know will make your deck better.
I'd say give it a shot. Don't let the paywall scare you. I promise it's a myth. Granted, cards can be expensive. That's just how it is, supply and demand, stuff like that. But you can definitely get away with playing on a budget. I don't think budget is a true restriction to play Magic. And on top of that, it's just such a fun game with a great community. I'd say at least 99% of the people I've met playing this game are just excellent people to hang out with outside of Magic, and I've met some of my best friends. Hell, I met my coworkers and boss who I love dearly playing this game, which I think is just such a blessing. So I'd definitely give it a shot if I was you.
No, it's just real fun. If you want to get into it, you can. Go ahead. Like, people usually are welcoming. If you don't want to get into it, don't. But there's no reason not to try.
Don't be afraid to say hi. Like everybody, like I said, it's the gathering. Like everybody just wants to get together and play.